people hear you talk, you don't even need to say a lot of words for people to notice that, hey, you're not from here. You're different. You're from somewhere else. And they may ask you, hey, where you're from, and things like that. If you're trying to avoid that, if you're trying to get a more natural quality of sound to your speech, well, today we're going to be trying to help you do that. We're going to look at pronunciation files that you have sent to us and give you some feedback that you can use to make immediate changes to your speech that I think you're really going to like if your goal is a more natural sound in American English. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to the Schwa Mill. This is your American English pronunciation review show. We are here on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays right around 7 a.m. New York to look at pronunciation files that you sent to us. You can see in the video description that there is a link to a very free Telegram group where you can send in audio files. I select from there, and I pick files for our stream. And to guide you in this process, there is me. Hi, my name is Geoff. It rhymes with breath. That's one of the 4 keys to a natural sound in American English, including placement, pitch, breath, trying to weaken your consonant sounds in order to strengthen your vowel sounds. I have 2 more files for us. Again, we're going to listen to them, get some feedback that you can use to apply. Let's listen to our first file.
I still don't understand why would Japan.
Okay, I'll play this one more time.
I still don't understand why would Japan.
Okay, and thank you for sending us files. Thanks to everyone who's been sending us files. Again, unfortunately, we don't have enough time to look at all of them, but greatly appreciated to have what we do receive. I think my biggest suggestion for this audio file would be that we're falling into a lot of patterns again.
I still don't understand why would Japan.
Okay, so if I have to give one suggestion for this file, is I would be looking at your thought groups and seeing how we can play around them a little bit more.
I still don't understand why would Japan.
Okay, so what's happening is you're falling into these thought groups that are like 2, 3, 4 syllables long, each of them. It's like, I still, thought group, don't understand, thought group, why would, thought group, Japan. And what's happening is that as you transition from each thought group to each thought group, there's a lot of things that are the same. Your pitch is more or less the same.
I still don't understand.
I still don't understand. There's a little bit of a movement down on don't understand, but what happens if you push that further? Like, I still don't understand. Do you hear the difference between I still don't understand and I still don't understand? Just pushing things a little bit lower. There are other patterns that are happening as well.
I still don't understand why would Japan.
Okay. What's generally happened for all these thought groups too is that your stress is falling at the end of each of them. It's like da 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 da. So it's like all of them are, aside from the thought group about why would, all the other thought groups have the stress that falls towards the end. So we can change where that's going. Okay, so first suggestion again, change your pitch levels when you change your thought group. If we start here, the next thought group goes here. The other thing is changing where your stress is. It's like, I still don't understand versus I still don't understand, and things like that. So playing around with the stresses. What's up to Shazad? Thank you so much for being with us this morning. The final comment I would say is that your placement's pretty high.
I still don't understand why.
It feels kind of like we're talking here at times almost nasally, like I still don't understand versus I still don't understand. So it sounds like we're not really engaging our diaphragm. And one of the things we talk about a lot in American English is we have to use our diaphragm in order to get that breath and that resonance and that warmth that we find in American English. That's relatively unique to American English. Not all of your other forms of English use it. Not all other languages use it as well. So instead we have kind of a shrill, almost nasally placement.
I still don't understand.
I still don't understand versus I still don't understand. Okay. And if you're not sure entirely what I mean by breath and diaphragm work, then I encourage you to go to youtube.com/fluentamerican. So just like the channel homepage, and scroll to the bottom of the homepage. And I have a list. It says how to breathe in American English. That's the name of the playlist. It's a bunch of videos that just dedicate to breath. They're going to walk you through about 10 different concepts and ways, techniques that you can use to apply to your breath to start adding your diaphragm more. Okay, but basically what's happening right now is your lungs are doing a lot of the work, like right around here, but we want instead your diaphragm, which is located here, closer to your stomach, between your lungs and your stomach. We want to engage that more, and that's going to add a lot more resonance to this, and that's going to give you a more natural sound and also a lower placement as well. So those are some changes that I hope you find helpful. Thank you so much for sending that audio file. The biggest thing, again, for the audio file was just elements of contrast. If you are someone that's interested in learning more about contrast, so yeah, there's pitch and there's speed, and there's changing the stress and changing your thought group lengths. I've come up with about 10 different ways that you can work with stress. And I just literally did a webinar about it yesterday. And in fact, you can see a portion of that webinar actually on the channel right now. It's a video I posted yesterday. So if you're trying to practice some pitch stuff, take a look at that. I encourage you to do it. But the replay of this webinar is now available. So if you're trying to find 10 ways to add contrast to your speech, and honestly, the best part of it is that these elements of contrast you can apply to any language. So you can use them for English, but you can also use them for your first language as well. And it's going to make you a more dynamic speaker. And more information about the Institute itself is fluentamerican.com/institute, which, by the way, for Institute members, just a reminder that on Monday we have our conversation club. So we have a conversation with McCaw that is going to be from 6 to 6:30 p.m. in New York. So if you're trying to get some speaking practice in, then don't forget about that opportunity for members of the Institute. Okay, let's take a listen to our final clip for today.
$1 a tooth? The hole in her smile? The older new moon.
Okay, thank you for sending this file. As always, let's play it one more time.
$1 a tooth? The hole in her smile? The older new moon.
Okay, and a couple notes about this. So she's actually, speaking of the webinar, she's actually using some notes from our webinar. So we have this little poem that we're using. It's like $1 a tooth, the hole in her smile, the older new moon. And so that's what she's saying here. So if you're trying to practice with that, and practice moving around with like pitch and things, singing it, which is great. One of the things that I'm noticing is as you're transitioning from each of the thought groups, you're returning to the same pitch every time, right?
$1 a tooth? The hole in her smile? The older new.
So like $1, the hole in her, the older new. So what's happening again is you are changing kind of the pattern for each of the thought groups, like $1 a tooth, the hole in her smile. So you are playing around with like intonation and things like that. But each of the thought groups is returning to like the same pitch, more or less. What if we started at different places? So, like $1 a tooth, the hole in her smile, the older new, like something like that. So just pushing the starting point of each thought group a little bit more is something I think that could be worth experimenting with, just become a little bit more dynamic. The other thing I'll say, so in the notes for this, it says we were trying to smile the entire time. Great. Okay. So why practice having straight lips when you talk? One of the things that does is it forces you to overcompensate or compensate in other ways to get a more natural sound. But the risk is that things can start slurring together if you don't have enough elements of contrast.
$1 a tooth?
So for instance, $1. Okay, maybe a slightly firmer, fast D sound on dollar could be helpful.
$1 a tooth?
$1 a tooth. It's like $1 a tooth. Another way that you could also just kind of help sharpen that contrast between words is a slight pause. It's like $1 a tooth. It's like, notice that little pause there. That can also be a way to add a little bit more contrast there in shape to the sounds.
$1 a tooth? The hole in her smile?
For that middle thought group, I would have liked a little bit lower pitch movement on the in her. It's like the hole in her smile. See how weak the her can get, but also how low in pitch it gets. The hole in her smile. The hole in her smile.
$1 a tooth? The hole in her smile? The older new
And then my last place where I think we're losing a little bit of clarity is that new moon part. Like, versus new moon. New moon. So instead of saying new moon, I think we're a little bit similar pitch-wise. We're also a little similar speed-wise. We're also a little similar firmness-wise. So basically, again, the elements of contrast for that section, we're losing some of them. So it's a little slurry. If you play around with the speed or the pitch or the firmness or the softness between new and moon, that's going to help give that a little bit more shape. Okay. The other option too would be being maybe a little bit firmer on the consonants if you want, but that's not necessary if you use the other elements of contrast. Okay. Hello too. So it's deep. All right, from Thailand, hanging out with us. Good evening to you. Hope you had a good day. All right. With that, guys, I do have to run. But, hey, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Look, there's a lot of American English pronunciation resources out there. I'm very much aware of that. So the fact that you guys sent me some files and hung out with me here on the stream is appreciated. We'll be back on Monday with another edition of the Schwa Mill. Join our Telegram group. Send us some files for potentially to be reviewed next week. And I will see you guys later. Hope you have a good day. Have a good night. And a good afternoon.